everyone. Today in Goldy's Closet, where we're cracking open the mind of a man who's conquered the squared circle and the stage. The one and only Aron Stevens. You may know him as the genius behind characters like Damien Sandow in WWE, or as the flamboyantly unpredictable Aron Stevens in NWA. But this multi-talented performer is so much more than just his ring persona. He's an actor, a creative force, and a man with a wildly unique perspective on life inside and outside of wrestling. From viral catchphrases to curtain calls, from championship gold to Hollywood scripts, Aron brings honesty, insight, and a lot of laughs to this conversation. So pull up a chair, kick off your boots, and get ready for a raw, real, and ridiculously fun ride. This is Goldy's Closet, and Aron Stevens just stepped in.
You said that you're an open book, and I absolutely love that. And you said your podcast isn't necessarily wrestling, and you know it's not, and it's not because I don't love wrestling. It's because, like you, I wear a lot of hats and I do a lot of things, and call it a Jane of all trades, whatever you want. I've really enjoyed listening to other people's podcasts of you this week and finding out about, I love it. Like, just, I mean, I was already drawn to you. I met you at NWA's backstage, and I was just like, you know, I'm not 20 anymore, so I've got a good read on people. And I was like, who is this guy that's on top of his shit? Like, you commanded the backstage. I didn't even know what you did. I didn't know who you were.
I still even don't. So I don't.
No, but you do. And the thing that I love the most about you is you're a good guy. Like, I can just tell that you're a good. Well, that goes a long way in the wrestling business.
Yeah, that's yeah, right. I know.
I can't say that about everybody that I meet, and nor would you want to. That's not a colorful world that we live in. The thing that my ears perked up, and we'll talk about your background and your history and the Kowalski way of life, and just everything that I've gotten a chance to learn about you. But my ears perked up as an actor when you said you were working on the set of Magnum PI, or like, what acting are you doing? Well, again, we'll promote NWA, we'll do all of that, but I'm just so fascinated by this, how it started, how you got into it, and what you're doing with it.
Very cool. Oh yeah. Well, I'll give you the Bass Ackwards Hollywood story.
Would you?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well,
it's
tell me how you started it.
You know, real life is stranger than fiction, as I'm finding out.
So you're where? You're someplace and you just get a call, or were you actively? I mean, I know. Excuse me while I drink this really fast. Don't get mad.
Hydration's important, especially this time of year. You know what I mean? It's a.
No, I know it. I know that you left wrestling for a while, and I'd love to touch on that. But can we talk about how you got into the acting thing? When in your life that you did?
So what happened was, I was at a point, and again, like we're going to just kind of brush over the whole WWE career thing, to where I was at a point, and I was just really not kind of happy where I was career-wise. I wasn't happy with the person I was, and there was just this kind of like this real like void, right? And you know, so I immediately thought that, okay, you know what, I need to give wrestling a break for a while. Like, obviously, you know, Vince and I did not see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Okay.
So like, okay, it's time to think about doing something else. I was at the Staples Center, and I just happened to be talking to this guy, and we ended up talking about like music, and so we're talking about Kiss and everything like that. And well, my buddy who worked in props, his name is Ellis, and Ellis worked in Hollywood as a stuntman and for years, and just kind of knew everything. Did Baywatch and all that stuff. We actually was on Baywatch as a character.
Wow.
He goes, "Do you know who that guy was?" No. He goes, "That guy was was vice president of Walt Disney Television for like 15 years, and then vice president of Lorimar, which was a big entertainment kind of juggernaut then." Yeah. His name is Mitch Ackerman.
When he's saying, "Do you know who that guy was?" Who is he referring to?
The guy I was talking to about music.
Your props guy was saying, okay.
Yes. Like I had just kind of gotten into this conversation with this dude about, and it was in catering. We were just sitting there eating, and seemed like a very nice guy. Well, no, he goes, oh, that guy's so-and-so, Lorimar and Disney and everything. Goes, oh, cool. Well, a couple months later, we're back in LA. See him again. We start talking. And this is when I was kind of the tail end of the Mizdow stuff. I think this was either right before or right after WrestleMania. And he says, hey, I think you'd be really good in acting. You have a personality, this and that, and you should try it out. So now let me think. So one thing led to another, went out there and, had the whole, like the managers and this and that. And when I left WWE, I had garnered kind of a fair amount of press. I had been like, okay, it was front page of Rolling Stone and it was the most read article for a day and a half. So I'm thinking, yes, this is great. Okay, here we go, Hollywood. Well, look, I always like looking back, right? And you can say circumstances, but I've now kind of reached the point in my life where I can like look retrospectively and say, you know what? We can have all these external circumstances, but ultimately I was the one making every decision. I was the one in control. And like to a point, I just wasn't kind of in line with what, like being the best actor I could be, right? Because I was still kind of dealing with a lot of stuff from wrestling and everything else like that. So, management didn't work out, let's say. And I was like, all right, whatever. So now here I am in LA, and I'm so not an LA person.
You moved to LA for this opportunity?
Yeah.
From?
Yeah, just picked up, moved to LA.
From where?
I was in Kentucky at the time.
Okay. Oh, that's a different. Okay. And where, when you got to LA, like, were you in like the Studio City, Hollywood? Like,
I was in Hollywood. I was right in Hollywood. So a couple months go by, not working out. All right, what do I do? My friend calls me and says, hey, I'm at the Beverly Hilton right now hanging out. And okay, sure. So I went and hung with him. He had an agent there that was a fan of mine. The agent then goes, hey, you should go to this event in Malibu. It's for the SAG elections. So it's the Screen Actors Guild, which is the union. For those that aren't really that familiar with it. But
yep, it's good. It's good to explain.
I almost didn't go, so I ended up going. And this is just kind of the weird way the universe works. My girlfriend at the time and she was in Kentucky, I was in LA, and we watched the movie called What the Health. And it was about veganism and everything like that. Now, I love cheeseburgers and I love red meat, and I was the last person in the world to be going vegan. But for some reason, we said, hey, let's try veganism for 2 weeks and see if it works, because that's what the video alluded to, right? Sure, no problem. So we were starting on Monday. This commercial shoot was on a Sunday. So I show up, and it was Esai Morales who was running for president of SAG at the time. And he's with a group called Membership First. And I'm there. I don't know anybody. And all of a sudden, this crazy lady walks in. Her hair's all messed up. She has a sign that says, like, Rights for Animals, and her shirt said Vegans Rock. Well, I end up just asking her. Is it it was a recording studio. You know the Gibbs recording studio? Have you ever heard of that? In Malibu? Yeah, this was at there. This was at the Gibbs recording studio in Malibu. And I asked her about veganism. Well, 3 hours later, we're sitting talking like we've known each other forever. And like, she was really funny. So she's like, what the hell are you doing out here? And blah, blah, blah. And she goes, look, I know you don't know me, but you're not going to do a damn thing unless I say to. I am in charge of your career from now on. I'm 60 years old. I do not want to sleep with you. I'm married, but you are going to do everything I say, because if you want to get your career going, and I'm thinking right at this point, I had been kind of just burned out with all the Hollywood people. So I go, yeah, whatever. So, all right, I'm there. And she goes, do you have a SAG card? And I'd been in LA, I think like 9 months. I wasn't in the union. No. Wait a minute. Picks up the phone. She says, be at this address at this date and bring a suit. What? So I went to this place. It was right off of Pacific Coast Highway. It was
PCH. Yep.
Yeah, yes. And it was right off PCH in Malibu, some office building. And I walk in, and there's Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad. And there's a whole film crew and everything like this. And it's like, she's there to sign this paper, do that, huh? And then I hit wardrobe, makeup, I get my lines, and I did a short film with Jonathan Banks, and which was great. It was actually called They Came and Left. It was directed by a guy named Franklin Fuentes, who is he's an amazing director. He's going to be doing some awesome stuff, I would predict. So yeah, like I get in there and do the scene with him. All of a sudden, the SAG card comes. Okay, I'm in the union. So this woman then says, because here's the catch. she was third generation Hollywood. Her grandfather owned Raleigh Studios. His name was Harry Sherman. And he had come out and, kind of really done well, shall we say.
Was her name Schumann too?
Sherman, yes. Her name was Sherman, yeah. And she has, it just closed. She had a dog grooming shop in Malibu for like 40 years. So she was there. Excuse me, I'm a bit parched.
Take it. No, I'm taking mine too. We're taking a drink break.
Yeah, water break. So,
dog grooming business closes. Right time, right place.
Well, no, she still had it. Like it just closed maybe a couple months ago.
Got it.
So like it was there the whole time I was there, and so pretty much what happened from there. The mom was living in a convent. Sherman's mother was living in a convent. Wrote the dad a letter because the dad was out west, because at the time that's when LA was becoming LA. It was becoming the epicenter of the film industry and everything like that. So the mom writes the dad a letter saying that I have decided to join the order and become a convent and this and that. So the dad sends for her immediately. Mom goes out there. She's on the set of all the old like Ronald Reagan pictures and everything like that, like the Wild West and just like every kind of like cowboy with gun smoke. And so she was heavily involved in that. Then the mom ended up kind of going through some issues and things like that, to where Sherman at 16 had to open up the dog grooming place to help support the mom, because Sherman's grandfather had passed. And what happened was the business partner, when they merged with MGM, because Raleigh Studios merged with MGM, there was this whole, legal debacle, yada, yada. I'll spare you the aggravation, but you can kind of do the math. They ended up, the kids ended up getting nothing. So it was all like Sherman has kind of really lived her life at a, like she said, like growing up, I was next door neighbors with the Kennedys. And then like I had to open up my own dog grooming shop. It was like a weird kind of, life she had. But the thing about her, she is so big into animal rescue. And, Sherman herself is a vegan, but just really does so much for like rescuing, and it's not just dogs and cats. I mean, I'm talking about like, I have had to, this is not an exaggeration with this woman. I have had to stand there looking the other way and holding a flashlight while there was surgery being performed on a cow in a parking lot of a veterinarian office at about 3 a.m. And yeah, like I that's not even the tip of the iceberg with her. I mean, I've been, I'm not, I don't know if I should say that on the air, so I won't, but like
here
she goes to,
wait, do you want to punch? I can punch here so you can tell me. So I'm at,
I've been shot at with her, like having to rescue fish from a hatchery. There have been people that have actually like, shot, not like, to where it's like you can hear the bullet, but when someone at a distance is shooting in your general direction, it's a very scary thing. And the fish are safe, thank God. So that's, yeah.
What kind of fish? What kind of fish was she rescuing?
Captive fish. And I like, and if you want, I don't know if you can kind of work this in, but like, so she would never take money from any job she would book me on. I would just have to help her with animal rescue. It was insane. So yeah, like that's the level.
What am I cutting? Okay, tell me what I'm cutting out. The whole part about
coming out right now. So yeah, coming out right now, and I'll just pick up. Just leave me where you want me.
That's amazing. Okay, so back in.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, come on back in with what we were talking about.
Yeah. So and again with Sherman, she could be a bit extreme in terms of how she really kind of deals with rescuing animals, shall we say, and saving our four-legged friends. So. But it's actually
or finned friends.
yes. And she's completely awesome though. She has wonderful friends, and but the deal was with us, so she wouldn't take money if I got booked on a show. So she would be like, "You're going to learn how to act the right way. You're not going to be like these surface actors, and I'm going to show you this way." And like, so we'd have to watch like, Casablanca and all these old movies, and then when
like
she thought. Yeah. And again, like where I didn't have an agent, manager, or anything like that. But when she thought I was ready to be on a set, and I'm not exaggerating, the phone would magically ring and it would be like, "Hello, hi, Aaron. This is so-and-so. I just want to confirm your birth date. You have a flight to New Mexico. You'll be there for a month." And this first time this ever happened, it was a show called Midnight Texas for NBC, which I almost had a part in. The show got canceled. I was going to be this vampire hunter there. That was going to be my big break. But hey, things happen. We move on. And then, I did a couple other things like I did Better Things on the FX network, a couple other cable shows, did Magnum PI, which was fun. I was in, actually, that's when I was in Hawaii. I was there for like a month. And then got the call for like NWA was starting up again. So that was this weird kind of like blending my life together. So, like wrestling kind of came back into the fold when acting was going well. And then, of course, 2020 happened. And, here we are now. But I think a lot of positive things have happened in terms of, in retrospect, when you look at 2020, yes, it sucked. But from an actor standpoint, you don't have to be in LA.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Self-taping is everywhere. And
yes.
Are you still doing stuff with this chick? You still are?
Oh yeah, we still keep in contact all the time. I mean, I do have like management now and everything, which is a good thing. But she's Malibu mom. I mean, she is like my whole life. I was in Hollywood for about a year, and then I moved out to the Malibu area, and it was just crazy. I have this whole like weird group of people that you just I never thought I would have anything to do with, but like I was doing a Netflix show. It was beginning of November. I was out in LA filming for Netflix, and I just said, I'm taking a couple extra days. I got to go see my people, and like we hung out, and it was just great. So I've been very, very fortunate to kind of like every time something looks like it's not going to work out, like all of a sudden this bizarre door opens. That's like, what, really? But it seems to be the only option at the time, even though it's not. For me, it seems to be. And I just kind of walk through it, and then it always ends up kind of working out. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And some people call it a bizarre door. I call it God. And I know that you're Catholic too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got different things that they call it, angels, the universe, opportunity, whatever you call it. It's just so important that you wake up every day not hoping. We always talk about how that's from the Secret and just the whole book and movie about hoping is a weak word. You expect. And I love to talk to the people that are out there listening and watching. For those of you who subscribe to that level, thank you so much for your patronage. That you wake up and expect great things to happen. Don't just hope or think I'm not good enough in the bed. And it's easy to have that creep in. But expect that at work there's a great opportunity, or expect. I know a lot of people listening want to find love. Like, don't just hope for it. Expect it, and then get off your freaking ass and do something to put yourself in a place. If you don't have a Malibu mom, or you don't have, moving to Hollywood or Malibu or wherever, it can be in your city that you're at right now. But put yourself in places and in just where opportunity is going to be. I hear so many people, I'll never do this. Well, you won't if you just sit there and say that all day. So I'm very excited to see what you have coming up. You're very charismatic, and I think the great people of wrestling, it's just a no-brainer to do acting. I went backwards. I was in acting and music, and then because I was in that, I got pulled into wrestling.
I'm so sorry.
I miss it.
Sorry.
I miss it. I want to be back in it. I understand it now. And I respect it, where I kind of started to understand it when I got fired, but I didn't respect it. And now 20 years later, I'm like, okay, I respect it. Question for you: on the PCH, there's a restaurant called Moon Shadows. Do you know where that is?
Yep, exactly.
Is it still there?
It was up until the fire, I believe. I don't know if they may have rebuilt.
Okay.
They may have rebuilt, but I think the fire may have got them. At least partially.
So that's my birth name, is Moon Shadow, and that place always meant a lot to me because when I would drive by, I'd hear my dad singing that Cat Stevens song. But a quick story for you and for the listeners is talk about opportunity. I was in LA by myself, and I think I was I lived in Beverly Hills in Century City. And I went to, I can't remember the name of the church, but it was the church that Marilyn Monroe was married on. Little Santa Monica or Santa Monica? One of the two right there. They're parallel. Wow. And it was midnight. It wasn't midnight mass. It was an earlier, like 6, 7 o'clock Christmas Eve type of mass. And I was just by myself and doing my thing. And I kept noticing like this guy kind of like behind me. He was older, but he wasn't creepy, but he looked really nice. He was very well dressed. And I was like, okay, and then, afterwards he just said hi and he introduced himself. It turns out he was a big guy in the independent wrestling circuit and a promoter. So we got to talking. He's like, what are you doing? I'm going to a party. And I'm like, okay, cool. And, there's a party everywhere in LA, Hollywood, you know that. And all I know is we ended up going down the PCH and we ended up at this house and there was all these gold records on the wall. And there was this really beautiful woman there with her boyfriend. And then shit started getting weird, as they always do.
I said, party in LA, yeah.
It started to get weird. And this guy was like, he wasn't like being gross, but he was definitely making passes. And I was like, okay, what is this? And then the other guy that I was with was making passes. And I'm like, all right, I'm not interested in either one of you. And then the guy that was there, I found out that it was his wife's house, which was even weirder, because I'm just not into that. Do your own dance. But I'm a one guy. I don't multi-cock, as I put it. Yep. And all I know is I found out that it was John Denver's house and it was his widow. So it was just, Hollywood, just crazy stuff. You have to know who you are and be really solid to survive that culture. And now that you can self-tape and be anywhere, that might be better for you. I don't know what part of town you're in right now. Are you not in Hollywood anymore?
So no. All right. So I'm. So what happened was, okay, again, I go to leave LA.
Yes.
And I say, all right, I'm going to try Atlanta. And then I just say to myself, I'm going to try Atlanta. Phone rings. And it was Luke Hawx. Hey, I think I got you a gig on Heels, which the Heels is a show that they film in Atlanta. It's on the Stars.
Who is this?
Luke Hawx, who's another NWA guy. He's my boy from NWA and a good friend of mine. And he just said, yeah, all right, fine, let's go. Let me do it. But then I get there. So because it's a wrestling show, they were like, hey, do you mind staying for the whole summer? Yeah.
In Atlanta.
So they, they did the thing where it's like, ended up kind of like adding me to the cast, which was like, whoa. So I am fervently praying for season 3. And, because that's kind of like, it's so weird. Like the big break I got came when I made the decision inside to just leave LA because it wasn't who I was, like we kind of touched upon that in terms of, your example was it was a good one, but like a small example. And there's the whole thing, like to sum LA up. And again, I have met some extremely wonderful people there that I consider family, but in general, it is not, hi, how are you? It's hi, who are you? And I just wasn't raised like that. Like I'm currently right now in Massachusetts at my parents' house, visiting them and everything for the holidays. I have to go to Canada on Monday for a month with Santino, so that'll be fun. And so Santino and I, we were in WWE together and everything. So we're just and we lived together in Tampa and in Louisville. It's it's
Louisville,
not
it's Louisville.
Like we were in OVW together, and then we were on the road and stuff. So it's not like a domestic partnership or anything. It's just we're
It's totally what I was thinking. I didn't even think that at all.
But no, we honestly joke a lot because we have lived together for like the totality is almost like 8 years, and then like being on the road together too. Like when you're constantly, so like we're pretty much we're.
Isn't that cool? That's a bond, like a police partner bond. Like you can't I can't explain it to people. Bandmates I have with some of them where I bet you, like me, you could definitely get to the restaurant early and order no matter what, pick it off from the buffet, know exactly what he ate or what he's going to want to drink or just what makes him tick like a lover, but not.
Well, no,
it's better.
Thing is, though, with Santino, and this is a little tidbit, you can't do anything right with him.
Oh,
I have seen, and I'm not exaggerating because I'm friends with his family. Like his kids call me Uncle Aaron, and you know what I mean. It's a whole thing, and I know his parents. I have seen this man criticize his mother's cooking, like straight up at a family. I'm like, dude, I call him Boris. I'm like, Boris, what the hell is wrong with you? And I mean, I tried to get him a Christmas gift one time, and and we were at a diner. And I was going to guilt him into getting me a Christmas gift. So I went to the Walgreens. We were in New Jersey. It was like literally the day after Christmas on that loop we would always do. So I went to Walgreens and I got on this thing. And you could make homemade pasta. You could slice things. It was like a little cylinder with, you do like 12 different things with it, right? And he says, nah, what is this? Well, now apparently that's all he uses at the house to make his pasta, and he never says anything to me about it. So like with his wife, I have to. So normally, Goldy, yes, I get that, but no, with him, he's just there's always a constant like the expectation of disappointment.
Well, at least it's honest. At least you know where you stand.
It is, and I tell you, I wouldn't have it any other way. So
you left LA, and now you're in Atlanta for this.
So I was in Atlanta, and so then that happened, and Atlanta happened, and I started taking more personal appearances because I was away from wrestling for a while. I started doing a little bit, and I always say I'm too young looking to be a teacher or to be considered a teacher to anybody, so I don't do seminars. But people were asking my advice on things, so then I just kind of try to pass on what I think the most easiest, direct, like remove my own ego out of the situation, because I'm not sure how the music business is, but one of the things in wrestling I can't stand is you have a lot of people giving advice who should not be speaking. And that's just about as real as a statement as I'll make on here. I mean, there are people giving their opinions to some of the younger talent on shows I see that I'm like, what? Huh? Like, no. First of all, that's completely wrong. Second of all, no.
Isn't that interesting? And I thought you were going to go with at least what you're saying pertains to the product, at least, because in music, people are running for office, and I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? That's gross. Like, I'm embarrassed for other musicians on how they think they are authorities on freaking anything, but at least the people that you're talking about are trying. Now, are they giving advice backstage because it makes them feel better and it inflates their ego, or are they doing it to sabotage, or both?
You know what? Okay, so I think it's an individual thing.
Okay.
Frankly, and I'm going to be very honest with you, some of the people, and this is just an assessment, I'm not trying to like bash anybody, but some of the people I have seen giving advice, I don't know if they're smart enough to know how to sabotage.
Or subconsciously, or hold that thought, Goldy's Closet. We've got more to talk about with Mr. Aron, and I would like to invite you all to come back next week, because let's face it, wrestling is important. Supporting NWA is important. Supporting Aron and Billy and the whole crew in May, and it's very, very important. So we're gonna say goodbye, everybody, and come back next week for part 2. But thank you, everybody, for joining. We're gonna clap, and we're gonna come back and talk more about wrestling and everything else. Thank you, Aron, so much for your time today.
Thank you.
What's up, everyone? It's Goldy, Impact Wrestling, TLC's Cheapskates. Ted Nugent's running wild from him somewhere in the woods. And maybe you've seen our band, Goldilocks Band. We're out there, we're on tour, but now we're connecting on Cameo. So I want to tell you that I am here to be your humble servant, and that's whatever you need said for you, for a friend, a shout out, a golden shout out, you name it, here and on it. Now, just reminding you, keep it classy, keep it cool, and keep it above the belt. But I want to offer you something a little bit different. Just remember, if I'm not on the road and I've got access to these next beauties, we can always have a microphone now. Da-da-da-dum. I want to make this the most amazing experience for you ever, because you deserve it, your friends deserve it, your loved ones deserve it. And just remember, I can sing you a few lines of a song. It can be from anywhere, like it can be from somewhere over the rainbow, or it could be near, far, wherever you are. It could even be on a highway to hell. It can even be from there. Oh, and keep in mind, not all requests are the same. Maybe your motivation comes with a harder edge. Maybe you need a more jagged little pill. There's nothing that I love more than playing the heel. So if you need your message delivered with more, what's the word I'm looking for? Intention? Please specify.
Can't wait to connect with you on Cameo. Thanks so much for being here. Stay golden.